You are listening to the Spiritual Warrior Coach with Barbara Savin, the podcast for discovering how powerful your wisdom, compassion, and courage is. Get ready to join Barbara and her guests as they explore and offer you advice on how to reclaim your power, your energy, and your authentic self. And now, here's the host of the show, Barbara Savin.
Thank you for joining me today, and welcome to the Spiritual Warrior Coach Podcast. I am your host, Barbara Savin, and I am here to help you reclaim your power, your energy, and your authentic self. I am a certified clinical and medical hypnotherapist, energy healing specialist, life coach, and best-selling author of Gentle Energy Touch, the Beginner's Guide to Hands-on Healing. You know, I have been helping my clients for over 35 years, and the older I get, the more wisdom seems to come through. So isn't it time that you believe in yourself? You know, your mind is going to provide you with your greatest challenges in life because it's so very, very powerful. So let's use that mind for positive thinking, creating harmony, balance, peace, love, happiness, and anything else that your heart desires. Because one day the world will tap you on your shoulder and say, this is your time to shine. And speaking about shining, I'm going to bring my shining guest on right now. Hello, Maria. How are you?
Hi there, Barbara. So good to be here. Thanks for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. So let me tell my listeners a little bit about you.
Yeah.
Dr. Maria Rothenburger. She is a professional counselor, a fertility coach, and a baby communicator who helps people go from stressed, overwhelmed, and obsessed with fertility to feeling peaceful, hopeful, and connected to their greater purpose. And she is also the author of the #1 best-selling book, Transcending Infertility, 9 Keys to Improving Fertility, Creating Miracles, and Being a Better Human. And she's also the host of the podcast, Miracles Happen Fertility. And Dr. Maria has been a therapist for over 16 years and came out in 2020 as a psychic medium, specializing in spirit baby communication. So, wow, welcome so much. This is big. I mean, we've never had a baby communicator on the show. And I'm so excited to have you here today.
I'm so glad. Yay. I'm hoping it's a good introduction for your listeners to spirit baby communication. It's fascinating.
Oh, I know that. So how did you actually get into all this and know that you had this ability?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as you said, during COVID is when I quote unquote came out. But before that, well before that, about 7 or 8 years before that, I was doing just traditional psychotherapy with somebody who had lost her twins at, it was 23 weeks or so gestation. And so we were just doing grief counseling, which is, I say just doing grief counseling. Grief counseling is a really big deal. We were doing regular grief counseling. And in the middle of this counseling, this was when I lived in New Jersey, over where you hail from, Brooklyn. In the middle of that session, the babies, the twins, came to me, into my awareness. Now, I am very grounded in like science, evidence-based, give me all that stuff. I love it. I thought maybe I was going a little crazy, having a hallucination or something. I had no idea what was going on. So I ignored it. I just ignored it, and they were just talking and feeding me images, and it was actually like having another person in the therapy room with me, distracting me from working with this client. So I did my best, and I still ignored it. I didn't even respond to them. And I went home that day. Now, while I was driving home, they were messing with my radio. And so I put a podcast on, and they messed with that. They kept switching the podcast back and forth from different And then they landed on a podcast episode where the woman said, "Get over yourself." Like, okay,
Wow.
are you telling me to get over myself? I still ignored it. And I went home, and for the next 2 weeks, I had not seen that client for 2 weeks. For the next 2 weeks, these babies hounded me. They were there when I woke up. They were moving things in my house. They were still messing with my stereo, my radio, my podcast, everything. They were messing with everything. And the next time I saw her, I was so overwhelmed with these babies that I finally said to her, "How open are you?" And she said, I'm open. And I said, "Okay, I'm stopping the therapy right now, because this isn't something that you can put into like ethical, it's like really difficult." So I said, "I'm stopping therapy right now. I will extend your session if you'd like to. But this is," oh, I'm sorry, my dog. I hope you have an editor.
Oh, no, it's okay. Listen, we have dogs
Good.
barking all the time.
Oh, good. I'm going to let him out.
Oh my, she's so adorable. She could have stayed.
That was Prince. He's a little verbal. So where was I? Okay, so I asked her how open she was. I stopped the therapy session, and I said to her what was going on. And so I told her things that they were telling me, things that had been happening in their household, the doorbell ringing in the middle of the night, pictures falling off the wall. They showed me in my mind's eye a memorial that they had for these babies with teddy bears. And she said, yes, so all these things were things that they were confirming. And I did nothing with that for 7 or 8 years, because I was like, this is crazy. Because once the babies went away, I was like, what the heck was that? That can't be real. That was not, no, it was not a thing. And then I ran into somebody who also does spirit baby communication, and I realized how healing it can be for people. And that's what I am. I'm a healer, right? I'm a therapist, and I'm also clinical hypnotherapist, right? So it's very healing for folks. And I thought, okay, if it's healing and this is my calling, then I'm going to get some training and do the thing. A side note, I did talk to both of my parents. They were divorced when I was 3. So I'm talking to them separately. And they both said, oh yeah, we have psychic phenomena in our family all the time. Both sides.
Both sides. Wow. Okay.
I was like,
yeah.
Okay, that would have been useful to know. But right. So I take this very seriously. I know that, people sometimes take it a little lightly, or, in the US, we need to say this is for entertainment purposes only, for legal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I do take it very seriously. And it's been a beautiful, beautiful blessing to be able to do this for people.
Oh, it is, because so many people, well, I'm sure she needed to know maybe why they left,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so that she can move on with her life, knowing that he had they were 2 twins, right?
Yeah.
They both, passed over. And I'm sure she was at her wit's end, knowing that these children, died. But she probably wanted to know, why did they chose not to come in this time?
Right. Well, clinically, what happens is folks blame themselves. I should have done, could have done. What did I do wrong? I could have done this better. I should have done that better. I shouldn't have eaten that thing. I shouldn't exercise that. I shouldn't have. Right. And of course, it didn't have anything to do with her behavior. And once so there is a grain of salt here, right? Because this was a therapy client. So I have to say this is separate from the therapy, and yet it's so therapeutic. It's unfortunate in the US. I have clients all over, and they're like, one, for example, is in Portugal. She's like, no, we put them together, spiritual and therapy. And they're not separate, but unfortunately here we have to. But
that's how truly people heal, when all the coulda, woulda, shouldas are removed, and then they realize that this is truly the root cause of this situation.
Right.
and they
Right.
stop
And so
blaming. Yeah.
yeah, she invited her husband to another session, and we talked
Mm.
about, more things. It was just really amazing to see that. I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I'm like, what's going on here? What I'm doing. I'm just telling you what they're telling me. So,
Uh-huh.
and
Cool.
yeah, and so I got some official training and started doing the actual work in July of 2020. So that's a long-winded answer to your question. How
Oh
did you get into
no,
this?
that's a great. This we all know how it's happened. Usually something, and being it's in your family
Yeah,
already, for some reason they
yeah,
just didn't want to say. Maybe they were felt,
yeah.
weird
Just
about it.
never came up.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Never came up, and yeah, they may have felt weird about it or felt like it was not relevant to any.
Not
I don't know. I'm
relevant.
a very sciencey person, right? Like a very my dad's side of the family are all engineers, right? They like put things
Oh,
in
okay.
order and see how things work, and right, and that's very much me. But
That's
yeah,
probably
now I'm
why.
pulled in this other side. Yeah.
I know that we have my great grandma and grandma were both healers. So it's always been with me, but it skipped my mom, and my sister is very psychic, and now she's realizing that she truly is. But the
Yeah.
ironic thing is that my daughter is now finally realizing this, that she has this ability at the age of 48
Aha.
finally. And the two of the grandkids also, now the grandchildren in Florida, they too are little healers, but because they're only 4
Love
and
it.
6, they
Hmm.
just don't know yet. So I'm just
Yep.
waiting it out. So
So much fun.
it
It's
is.
so much fun. And little kids, brainwave activity doesn't change and shift out of that theta brainwave mode until about 7 years old. And so they're so
So open.
receiving so much information. Yeah, it's
Oh, I
amazing.
know it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I guess I'm curious. How does like a spirit baby session work? Like what
Yep.
happens when you're talking to somebody that is either trying to get pregnant or lost a child?
Yeah. No, it's a fair question. So every spirit baby medium is different. Everybody runs their sessions differently, but I'll say how I do it. I am a huge proponent of meditation, no matter what you're trying to do in your life. Meditation is one of the most important, I think, medicines that anyone can do. So I usually start a session with a meditation, and I'll do a brief body scan where I'm able to take a look at somebody's their energy centers, the chakra system. So I'll do that, and then at that point, I'm able to connect to the spirit baby realm a little bit clearer, a little more clarity. I am a clairvoyant, so I see things, I see images, I see movies, I see colors, I see things with my mind's eye, not with my eyeballs. So in my mind's eye, sometimes I'll get sounds or feeling sensations on my body, but my primary clair is clairvoyance. So I will be able to see the babies, and they'll usually it's one or more, obviously, but if there are more than one, they show up in a line of like birth order. So I can tell you what order they're in. I also invite in other benign entities like guides or angels or ancestors, if they actually relate to the spirit babies in some way. And so I'll invite them in as well. Then I usually tell the client what I'm seeing, right? And so I'll describe the babies. I usually ask them to provide some evidence, because I'm evidence-based, provide some evidence that they're present, right, in their parents' life. So they'll tell me about hobbies or work or childhood memories, things like this. And then I ask them if they have any messages for their intended parent, and then the parents are able to ask whatever they want to know. And sometimes I'll also be able to let them know about their energy system and how they can balance it out a little bit better to help communicate on their own with spirit babies. So that's probably the first thing that I need to say about spirit baby communication with the way that I work. I am, probably from my therapy background, I am someone who tries to empower other people. I am of the opinion that everybody can do this. We all just need to tune into it. And so part of a spirit baby session is to get you on the right track to communicate with your specific baby or babies so that you have specific tools to use. Sometimes it's like, where do I even start? Well, now you'll have specific tools to communicate with your baby, and then you go on and use those tools to communicate. No one eventually should need a medium or spirit baby communicator. Everyone can do it on their own.
Do it on their own. So now, so then you communicate while the child is still inside of the mom, or?
Oh, sure. Oh,
okay.
yes. Oh, yes. So before pregnancy, during pregnancy, even after pregnancy, once birth, live birth or loss. So the idea is that most of our souls is still in the other realm, right? Just a small part of us is here, not even totally in the body. It's like surrounding, right? This is the aura. We're just in this vehicle. And so I'm able to communicate with our greater selves, right? You probably may have heard that, our higher self or greater self, right?
Right.
You probably teach all about it. So I'm able to communicate that way too. Yeah.
Wow. It's, I bet that people, after they see you and they can communicate with their child, they feel so great about it. And
yeah, I've gotten messages from people, emails with their newly born babies, and they're just like, I feel like I know this kid so well, because we've been communicating this whole time. It's really amazing to see.
Are there sometimes like not so good communication, something that is negative?
Sure.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yes. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So in the case of, here's one example. Somebody the baby felt that they could not come through because they needed to, because they had in a past life done a wrong. They had harmed their parent. And so they wanted to, but they were reticent to because they needed to apologize and make amends. And so when we talked about this, the client was the intended mom, but the issue was with the intended father. And so once we cleared that out and communicated that to the intended father and all was well, then they were able to get pregnant and bring this baby earthside.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So do you feel that sometimes, like if someone is not able to get pregnant, it's just not the right timing, that child's not ready to come in?
Sometimes there are myriad reasons of why, the babies aren't able to come in right away. That babies is not the right timing. Absolutely. There are lessons or a lesson for the intended parents to learn. They need to clear something like what I just said. They need to clear a past wrong that they've had, meaning the babies. There are endless reasons why. There are also physical reasons. Babies will be like, you need to go to your doctor and talk about this anomaly on top of your uterus. It needs to be cleared before I can come through. The uterus can't expand. Go. Sometimes it's that, Yeah. So there's so many.
So there's so many different variables. So if someone is looking, say, what is the in vitro, when they
yes.
So, and say if, for instance, I'm just curious if there's like 5 eggs, okay?
Yes.
And then they chose just 2 and then let the other 3 go. Do the other 3 that aren't there anymore, do they communicate or because?
Oh, that's a really great question. Okay. It's related to a really common question that I get because parents want to know where is my baby's soul? Once I'm pregnant, is the soul in my body? Well, what I find is that babies come and go. They're in an embryo, they're out of the embryo, in and out, and in the fetus and out of the fetus. And just about the last 2 months or so is when they're like, okay, I'm going to be in this body right now, because it's very constraining. Imagine being this expansive, just huge soul, and then little tiny
coming.
body.
Yeah. Like a little little
Yes.
space.
Yes.
Hopefully they're not
Right.
claustrophobic, but
Right. Well, if they are, they're going to be born early. Get me
exactly.
out of here. I want to be born
I
2
know.
weeks early.
Uh-huh.
But no, I find that they come and they go. So really,
Interesting.
the embryos, and this probably goes into like reproductive rights and all that stuff, which we don't need to get into, but in my belief system and in my experience working with spirit babies, the embryo is maybe geared for a particular soul, but it doesn't necessarily house the soul right away, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So then do you feel that's probably how the parents choose, say, I don't know, 1 or 2 out of the 5? They just have that sense?
It can be. Sometimes the physicians choose. Sometimes they say,
Oh,
well, so in an IVF situation, the embryologist will grade each embryo, and this is like an AA embryo, this is an AB, this is a BB, this is a whatever. So sometimes they'll just say, let's take the highest graded embryos and transfer those back. Sometimes though, they do testing. There's so many variables. See, here we go. They do testing of the embryos, and they know then the sex of the baby. And sometimes the parents will choose a particular sex. They'll ask if they are able to do that. Sometimes I am able to communicate with babies, and they'll show me pictures of the embryos, because when the embryos are frozen, the embryologists take images of them. And so they show me that one right there, that transfer this one right there.
Oh, wow.
And,
See, I guess
so
that was
then,
my part of my question. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes babies are like, it's fine as long as it's, this gender or this sex, or as long as there aren't any major health anomalies. Or sometimes a baby, a soul wants to come in with some kind of health anomaly, because they need to learn that as part of their soul contract. So it's interesting. I could go on and on and on with the variations.
I know. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah, because then you really don't know. I would assume that they probably will choose the best out of all, say 5, to make sure that it's good. And
Right.
do the, say for instance, they choose 2, do the other 3 ever communicate with you, or the soul's not really there to communicate?
If there is, so the way that souls present themselves to me is, hey, here's the highest probability right now. I have 3 babies with me, and so they can be these embryos, or let's say you test these embryos and they're not genetically normal and they need to be let go, then another embryo can be made, whether that's through IVF, or maybe you don't need treatment. Sometimes folks will, and I don't know the stats on this, and fertility people will be annoyed that I'm going to say this, but it is true that once you've transferred and had a healthy, done IVF, had a healthy baby, sometimes the body is like, oh, now I know what to do. And also energetically, we release any blocks, this kind of thing, and you're able to get pregnant naturally. Again, I don't know the statistics on that. It's not like 99% of the time, but it does happen. And so sometimes you don't need to make another embryo through IVF, right? So there are all kinds of ways and avenues for these babies to come through.
Now, like, say if someone is not a client, do you get messages and you don't know who it is sometimes?
Yes. Yeah, lots of times. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
However, so I'm not like the Long Island medium. She's in a grocery store and she's like, hey, did your father pass away? Yeah, he doesn't like that shirt. Don't wear that shirt anymore. Like I'm not like that. Because I again, this might be my therapy background. I am always asking permission first. Always. So if there's a person that I walk by in the grocery store and I get a message, there's no way I'm going to say, hey, excuse me. I will tell the soul, go talk to somebody else. I'm not your person. I'm just not. Get through to them in another way.
Constantly like do like that to you, you have to
Yeah.
tell them, what do you do then? I'm curious.
Well, that's what happened with those twins.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
The difference now is that I know how to create a boundary. I know how to create safety in a boundary and say the shop's closed. You need to go elsewhere. Because I just won't. And sometimes souls forget what it's like to live in a body. They'll forget that there are boundaries and limits and social norms and these kinds of things. And it's completely fine for somebody else to, say that in a grocery store or something. Hey, I have a spirit baby for you. It's not okay with me. That's just not how I work. So they will, if babies are persistent, or any soul really on the other side, if they are persistent, they will find a way. They will find
a way.
A way. Yes. Yes. So that's why I say nothing against you, man. I'm just not your person. Please go find somebody else to let them know.
Setting your boundaries. Otherwise you'll go crazy.
Yes.
And in the grocery store or anywhere else. Yeah. Because you get bombarded with all these messages and it's a hello. Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah. And while I have total sympathy, right? Like if somebody's in the grocery store and I feel that their daughter is coming through to me and they're like, just let them know I'm okay. I really want to, but I just feel like it crosses such a boundary that they will find a way though.
Yeah,
they will. And babies communicate all kinds of ways. We just have to notice. They only have the earth to work with, right? So they're sending animals, they're sending plants, they're sending flowers, they're sending, random signs on the street, that that's all they have to work with. Music, sometimes they'll send music. So they will find a way.
So now you have children, right?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Did they talk to you? I'm curious.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I've been asked that before.
I was just curious. Actually, that's what I just heard. So that's why I'm asking.
Yep. Good. See, ask her this.
I know. And I they wanted me to ask you that a little while ago. And I said, I don't know about that. But now it's like, ask her. So here we go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so they likely did. However, I wasn't even aware of spirit baby communication back then.
Okay.
So I think that they did. I'll give you an example, but just to answer your question, I didn't pay attention. And that's why I think I paid attention in other ways, but I didn't know that this would be like a spirit baby communication. Here's an example. So we adopted our sons and they were both born in South Korea. But when the first one, we hadn't become parents yet. And the first one, we were in the adoption process. And this was going to be years, right? Like 2 or 3 year long process. And so in August, we applied. And in December, we were approved. The following April, we were told that we had to switch programs to the China program it's not relevant for various reasons, but I was adamant. I just had a knowing that my baby was in Korea. I felt it. Now that to me now could be spirit baby saying, I'm in Korea.
Exactly.
I'm in Korea. Yeah. Right. And I was into like earthly signs, right? So I would look for evidence in my world that was true. And one day I was driving to work. Now I had been driving to work there for 3 years and I never noticed this. On one corner is a Korean church. Now, let me back up and explain. There's a meaning to this. The number 317, that's another earthly thing, was very significant to me. Without going into that whole explanation, I'm just going to preface by saying that was a very important number to me. So I'm passing this Korean church and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never realized that was there before. And I look at the mailbox and guess what the address was?
317. Wow.
Yeah. So to me, that's my evidence from the universe. Yep, your baby's in Korea. You can follow all the things that the adoption agency wants you to do, but your baby's coming from Korea.
Mhm.
1 month later, we get a call from the adoption agency, and she's like, "Are you sitting?" Like, why?
Uh-huh.
There was a baby that had come from Korea in Toms River, New Jersey. It was an hour away from us.
Wow.
And the parents decided not to finalize the adoption. And would you like a baby? You need to decide in 24 hours. You need to take custody in 48. Let's do
That's it.
this.
Mhm. There you are.
And there he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yes, I believe that my babies were communicating with me. I just didn't know it.
No,
I
it's
saw it as universal signs. I didn't translate it as my babies are communicating with me. And so now I teach that. Look for these signs. That is
signs.
likely spirit baby communicating with you. Yeah.
So you have the one son?
We have two. We have two
Two.
boys. Yeah.
Oh, two. Oh,
Yes.
so the second one came later, or
The second one came later. Yeah, that's another story. We had decided to adopt through the foster care system this time, and we were going to adopt a little girl. And we went through the whole paperwork and everything, and I just felt, nope, this isn't right. Let's just pause and wait. I just feel like I want another little boy, and I feel like it would be good if he was also Korean, so they're Korean together. They, we're white parents. It would be nice for them to have each other. And I don't even know how much later, a few months later, the adoption agency called with a similar situation, except this time we're in Oregon now. This time he was in Chicago. And it was a very similar situation, also born in South Korea, and a boy. Right. So it's like, how do you discount those knowings, those inner guides, right? Like,
it's there.
yeah.
You just
Yeah.
knew. It's that knowing without knowing feeling.
Yeah. It's knowing, not
It just
knowing,
and not knowing.
not
Yeah,
just knowing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just there. I mean, so yeah, because I know for myself, when I get messages, sometimes I say, gee, how do I know that? But I don't know it. It's all here. It's all just
No.
the
Yes.
heartfelt. Yeah. Just like
Yeah.
them telling me, ask her about her. Where?
Yes.
I know.
So what's their next question? No.
Well, I guess the owl on your
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my, that
yeah.
is a beautiful,
Oh, thank you. Here,
beautiful.
I'll get a better
Wow.
there you go. There's
Oh,
two.
it's
Thank you.
huge. Wow. How old is
Yes.
that tattoo?
Oh, she's a COVID tattoo.
Oh, okay.
But there is a story behind that. It's not related to spirit baby, although it can be. It's more related to fertility. We went through a fertility struggle for 6.5 years, and I was at a retreat center in Rhinebeck, New York, the Omega Institute, which you've probably
Yes.
heard
Uh-huh.
of.
Mhm.
They do all kinds of spiritual work there. It was amazing. So I was just sitting there with some new friends. I had never met them before, but we were all attending the same workshop. And it was a mediumship workshop. And so we were sitting there, and one of the gentlemen he was sitting next to me is a Native American man. He turns to me and he says, "Your spirit animal is the owl." And I went, what does that mean? I have, what does that mean? I have no idea. And
Uh-huh.
so he told me a little bit about it, and I thought it was really cool, and I was going to do more research on it. And I went about my business. And that day I took a drive just to get some scenery, and it's all nature up there. It's beautiful. And I was on a road by myself. It was the middle of the day, and up above me in the tree canopy was an owl just sitting there, just staring at me. I stopped in the middle of the road, opened my door, got out. I'm standing there in the middle of the road next to my car, staring at this owl, just staring back at me. And I went, okay, the owl is my
Awesome.
spirit animal.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all about inner
Yeah.
vision, seeing, wisdom. Mm-hmm.
Yes, right. And then the lotus flower down beneath
Yes.
is the same, is a very similar process. I believe in the lotus flower grows in mud, right? And so you have to go through all the mud, the crap, the dirtiness in order to bloom as you are. And so this lotus flower is blooming the wise owl, and she's all fire and yes, I'm ready to live
Yeah,
life
I
now,
know.
you know.
Just like you,
So,
right?
yeah. Yes, I'm ready to live
Uh,
life now. I'm coming into my own.
I know. Wow. So
So,
yeah, I mean, it's beautiful.
thank you.
Whoever did it, they did an incredible job.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Incredible.
he did great.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm addicted, so I must get more.
my, my daughter and my granddaughter have us also.
Yeah.
Yeah, like lotus and I don't know, all the little
All
things here and
kinds of
there. But
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, it's tattooing is beautiful. It
Yeah, there's
is.
great meaning behind it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, as long as there's like that, we do it not just to do it or just show off. We do it because there is a
Right.
meaning, meaning behind it.
For us. Right, right.
Hmm.
Really, really deep meaning. Some people go in and they're like, just do whatever. Okay, that's
I know.
fine. But
You don't know what you're going to
that
come
wasn't
out with.
me.
So I know.
That
So
wasn't me.
getting back to like people you help, so are
Yes.
you just doing spirit communication, or you're still doing your coaching? And
Oh
do you do
yeah.
coaching
Mhm.
just to help people like that are stressed because they can't become pregnant, or is it everybody?
Yeah. It is really focused on fertility.
Okay.
But the interesting thing is, most fertility therapists are focused on the getting pregnant. But I did my doctoral research on post-traumatic growth, which means um, coming out better than you used to be after trauma. And so, yes, there's the fertility component, but I call it fertile life coaching because it really is about your whole life. These skills and things that you learn in a coaching situation, you'll be able to use for the rest of your life. P.S. Meditation is like the number one thing, so just start that now. Um,
Hmm.
so I help folks grow from their experience, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and to find meaning and purpose in this experience. There's a purpose, there's a meaning, and I'm able to now pull in spirit baby communication too. So for coaching, I'll do past life regression therapy as well, not therapy in a coaching situation, past life regression sessions I will do, and I will do the spirit baby communication as well in a coaching situation. So it's a combination. Coaching is very much, like, hey, here are your goals. We're going to put you in the right direction. Here are the steps that you could take. Let's try this out. And a lot of times that involves looking at past life stuff, that involves spirit baby communication. So yes, I absolutely do. I do that as well. Yeah.
Now, curious. So do you say, for instance, I don't know, someone comes to you that, of course, they're looking to get pregnant, but maybe in another lifetime, I know this is a crazy question, maybe in another lifetime they've had a child. Does that
Mm-hmm.
baby ever come in, from another
Oh gosh,
lifetime?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, especially if it's really meaningful for now. Um, so, oh gosh, I can draw on so many examples. Yeah, there have been babies that have come through where they were the parent in a previous life, or they were a sibling in a previous life, or they were a spouse in a previous life. Yes, that happens quite a bit. And so I'm able to see, they'll show me this past life. And most of the time it resonates with the person like, oh my gosh, I'm totally obsessed with, South Africa. How that's crazy. Like, how did you know? And I'll be like, well, you had a past life there, blah, blah, blah. Right.
Mhm.
So yes, that happens quite often. It's fascinating stuff. Sometimes there's a past life experience that has created a current life block.
Okay.
And so being able to clear that through a past life regression it's incredibly powerful.
And then I would assume that once they do have a child, they probably will make better parents. because
Oh
they've
gosh.
cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have they have like the wisdom, as the alphas, they have the wisdom of their past
Uh-huh.
experience. Like, aha, yep, that resonates with me. I now know, I learned. Most of the time in a past life therapy or past life session, though, it's like, am I making this up? I don't know. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
my
Uh-huh.
approach is, in my opinion, you're not making it up. However, does that really matter? How are you going to use that information that's in your subconscious? How are you going to use it for right now?
Yeah.
How is it going to change your life for right now?
Yeah.
So,
So that
yeah.
hopefully, like maybe in a past, like if there's been an addiction or something, they
Yes.
change in this lifetime. Or they sever
Yes.
those
Yes.
cords. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? When we
It
think about it.
really is fascinating.
It's
It's
fascinating, but
fascinating.
that's how we heal our traumas of the past, whether we know it or not. A lot of the
Hmm.
past lives. Because, whatever it is, we
Yeah,
have to just let it go and move forward.
we do. And there's something in the past life um, therapy research. That's what they note, is that simply you don't even have to do anything except bring this
Remember.
to your awareness, and it creates change in your current life. It's absolutely amazing. Highly recommend. If you haven't done it, listeners or watchers, try a past life session. It's amazing.
A session. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I lived in back east in Brooklyn, one of my clients, I did past life with her. And after, she did not want to come back to this lifetime. Have you ever had somebody that
Oh,
she was like so upset with me? It was unbelievable.
oh,
Has that ever happened to you? That just happened that one time with me and never happened again.
not
But
yet. Oh, that's probably going to happen now.
no, no. All right, let's erase it. Erase it. Forget
That's
it.
not a bad
I
thing.
didn't say it. Oh, I'm sitting here and
Not
they're
a bad
chatting.
thing.
So it's like,
Yep.
Yeah. Oh
I know
yeah. It
exactly what
was,
that's like.
yeah, it's a crazy feeling to know, well, you have to
Yeah.
come back. You can't stay, in another era, it doesn't serve your purpose.
No,
But
nope, not right now. Yeah.
no, so I was just curious if it ever happened to you. So
Not yet. It's
not yet.
likely to happen though, probably. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That actually brings me to a common question that I get too, and I don't know if this was on your list or not, but people ask me, when you meet with people, do you ever have a situation when a baby doesn't show up, that there is no spirit baby?
oh,
And I
that's a
haven't,
good question. Yeah.
yeah, I haven't had it happen yet. However, it's likely to. And to that, I say there are a couple of options. One, we simply close the session and I refund your money. That's totally fine. And the other option is to spend some time calling in a baby, because there are many, many, many souls who have not chosen parents yet. And when you call in a baby with your resonance, they will feel that resonance and be drawn to it. And so then we can begin a spirit baby communication session. But it can feel scary to people. Sometimes they'll not make a session or an appointment because they're fearful of there not being a baby. Yeah.
Okay. But that the mother is already pregnant, right?
No,
Or
sometimes,
oh,
usually my clientele is mostly we're trying to get pregnant.
oh,
And so
trying to
they
get
get
pregnant. Okay.
scared. Yeah. They'll get scared that there is no, baby. Sometimes though, with folks who have experienced loss, they're also afraid that that soul won't show up. And so they won't
Mhm.
make an appointment, or they don't want to know really what happened because they usually feel like they did something wrong. Or in an abortion situation,
Mhm.
if they had an abortion and they feel guilty or upset about themselves, or they felt like it was the right decision, but they still wonder if, the soul is okay. And so
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
also feel fearful about that soul either not showing up or showing up, right?
Or
Like,
showing up and then, yeah, and telling them. Yeah, I would
yeah,
assume that would be frightening and probably hurtful to an extent. but that they made a
Yeah,
decision based on what they felt was right at that time.
that is what spirit babies say most of the time with
Mhm.
me. They'll say, there is nothing that you did wrong. You made a choice.
Mhm.
We all have choice. I am fine. I'm
Yeah.
okay. It's either like I've moved on, or I am happy to be born to you now, if you'd like, um,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
it's usually such a message. Spirit baby realm is such a loving realm. There is nothing nothing negative. I mean, unless they have this, sometimes they'll have their own worries or upsets, like they made a mistake or these kinds of things. Sometimes there is anger toward somebody on earth, but it still comes from such a place of love.
Love. Yeah.
It's hard to explain how those coexist, but there's usually no ill will or anything negative toward the parent. I feel like otherwise they wouldn't show up. They just wouldn't show up.
They wouldn't show up. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
mhm.
Rather than get that person all, feeling those negative feelings. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think they would show up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I did have a baby once though who showed up. And he was all about love, but he was really fascinated by macabre things. So like he was interested in like voodoo and like darker things. And
Oh,
I'm like,
uh-huh.
okay. I mean, okay, all I can tell you is what baby's telling me, but it was all still a loving thing. It was just this fascination with how, people on earth work all that magic stuff.
Yeah. Well, it could have been past lives with the child with that
So
spirit. Could be
absolutely,
anything. Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Yes, yes,
So you wonder if
yes,
that
yes.
baby comes in, whether it becomes a healer or a psychic medium or something to that effect.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Agreed. Yeah.
Gee,
I could almost guarantee it. Yeah.
yeah, I wonder when I was in my mother's stomach if I knew I was a
Yes.
healer back then, probably.
I know.
I
I
know,
think
it's crazy.
so. I probably did too. Yep. Yep. We all have our path, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I feel all of us have that ability to help ourselves heal as long as we choose to tap into it, because we're all born with it. But then, of course, life happens and then we move away from it, unfortunately. But some of us
It is unfortunate.
stay with it. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
the
I often say
things,
we're educated out of it.
yeah, isn't that crazy? I know. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a shame because the majority of the clients I see, when we sit and talk about it, they at some point in their life they knew that they had some abilities, but then
Mm-hmm.
of course a mother or a father would say, you're crazy, why are you doing this, or friends would make fun, and so they just sweep it under the
Right.
rug. But
Right.
we shouldn't be afraid of it.
No, it's not scary. It's
No,
not
it's not.
scary. But and it's true though, some folks, even who are open to it, get scared because so I do a spirit baby training. So I teach people who want to do this work the very basics, foundations training, I call it. And one of the big questions that I get is, but what if negative entities come? Or what if there's negative energy that comes? And this is why the empowerment is so important, because you have the ability to
To block
block
it.
those negative energies from
Mhm.
coming. You can disinvite them or uninvite them and set a limit with love, always with love,
Mhm.
um, without fear, always with love. And I think that we're taught to be fearful of, like these ghost shows and things like,
Oh, I know.
ooh, scary.
Yep, I know.
I'm like, that's fascinating. I want to go on a ghost hunt.
Well, I've gone to many homes because people call me in to do clearing of their spirits in their houses.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and sometimes it gets a little intense, but
Yeah.
I always say it needs to go to the light with love and light and healing, and not to be
Yes,
afraid of it, because the more afraid you are, the more it feeds on that fear.
that's right. Right,
So
right.
that's where we have to not be afraid and say, it's time to leave, go
Right. With peace and
with,
yeah,
yeah,
with love.
light,
Yeah.
God's light, healing, so that they need to heal. because sometimes they just get stuck, in between
Yeah.
realms. But mhm.
Yeah,
Do you feel a
indeed.
baby
Indeed.
sometimes will get stuck in between a realm?
Well, and the way that I see spirit baby realm is beyond, is they've come beyond that stuck place and they're ready to
Okay.
be born again. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Spirit, there's a movie out, a Disney movie out called Soul, that if people
Oh.
are interested in spirit baby work, when I saw that movie, I was like, babe, that's who I talked to. Those are the babies that I talked to.
Uh-huh.
He's like, yeah, okay. Well,
Oh.
my husband is very grounded. Like, I mean, he believes in this stuff. Like he's seen too much evidence otherwise, but he doesn't go like crazy like I do. But that movie, there is
Uh-huh.
the realm where all the souls are
Oh.
waiting to go down to earth, and those are the souls that I communicate with. They've already moved beyond the stuck. In that movie, they show a stuck place too. Yeah.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah, they've moved into the realm of being born again. So they're no longer stuck. They do still carry the energy of past lives. And so
Yeah.
sometimes spirit babies will show up as actual, like their actual past life. I had a military person show up once, and I called him, what did I call him? Oh, little one, or something like that. And he was like, excuse me, I am not a little one,
A little
like
one.
however he set this boundary with me. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. And started calling him whatever he wanted to be called. But so they'll carry their energy from past lives sometimes. But most of the time they show up as small people, either 3 or 4 years old, sometimes younger, 10 months old, somewhere in that realm, sometimes 6 or 7. But sometimes they'll show up as full grown past life adults. And and they'll say, I want to be born in this family. Sometimes it's, I want to be born in this family again. I was in this family 3 generations ago.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. So
Mm-hmm.
they've chosen. So based on that question, do you feel that we choose our parents
Yes.
before we come in? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
100%. Yes, I do.
That's how I
Yep.
feel. Mm-hmm.
There's a great there's a great quote by Wayne Dyer. He talks about his kids. He had 8 kids, and he said to one of them, she was acting up or something, and she was like, you're so whatever. She was saying mean things about him. You're so bossy, or you're so blah blah blah. And he says to her, well, listen, then you shouldn't have chosen me as your parent. And she says, well, you mean that I chose you before I was born? And he's like, absolutely. You chose me and your mother as your parents. And she says, I must have been in a hurry.
That's a good one. I'm going to tell that to my daughter when she tells me, "Oh, just leave me alone." Yeah, right. It's a good one. Yeah, they do choose us. That's for sure.
Yes.
And that's what I always tell my kids. You chose me. You're stuck now.
Yep.
So yeah, you chose me.
Sorry. How come you're so mean, Mom? You don't let me. Well, you chose this,
You
so.
chose me. I know. And I guess like some people, like someone will say to me, well, why would I have chosen this mom who beat me, or, their
Yes.
addiction? Well,
Yes.
there's a reason there, for them to learn or to sever those cords so that they don't do it to their children.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. All kinds of reasons too. It could
Oh,
be
there's
for
all
the
kinds.
abuser to learn something too.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Right. And sometimes babies will, they can't get they don't get too detailed with me. Sometimes they'll say what they need to experience and why they're choosing this particular set of parents. And sometimes it's a single parent, but they want a particular, like donor sperm or something, because they need a particular DNA set or something like this. So they'll talk specifically about their purpose, what they need to learn, why they're choosing that parent or parents. It's really cool. And so I'll say things like, hey, this baby needs to experience you've experienced something similar around 7th or 8th grade. And they'll be like,
I know.
oh my God. Yeah. So they're choosing you because you already know how to handle this, and they need you to help guide them through it. Right. So they'll be like, okay, I got it now. Okay.
I bet they get afraid. They probably look at you to say, what is she talking about? But how does she know? So, yeah.
Yes. That's more like, oh shit. How did you know that?
Exactly. I know.
It's more like that.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah,
now
it's
you've
more like
written a
that.
book, right? You've written a
Yes,
book.
not about spirit babies. That one's going to come in the future. I know it.
Oh, okay. So do you have a copy
No,
of your
but
book that we can see?
I do. It's right here, right behind me.
Ah, Transcending and
Yeah.
beautiful cover. Wow.
Oh, thank you. There's the lotus flowers. See, right?
Yes, it's a lotus flower. So now
Yeah.
what is the book about?
So the book is I mentioned that we dealt with infertility for 6.5 years, and
Right.
the last year was a huge period of growth for me, because my husband and I almost divorced over this.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and that was a breaking point for me. And I began to do really deep healing work. And all of that deep healing work is in
It's in
here,
the book.
which is what I teach people. This is the fertility coaching that I do. I teach people how to do this deep work so that no matter what happens,
Mhm.
you're going to be great. You're going to be amazing, better than you used to be. Not that I say, oh, just think positive all the time. Don't let negative thoughts in.
Mhm.
No, because part of this experience in transcending infertility is to acknowledge and honor the pain, all of it, not to run away from it, to look it square in the face and say, what are you trying to teach me?
Right,
What
exactly.
are you trying to show me here in this life? So transcending infertility is rising above, looking at it as if from a bird's eye point of view, going, that's why I was trapped
What it
right there,
is.
because I
Mhm.
had to get over here. Okay, that's what this book is about. And so there's very grounded psychological concepts in here, but also very mystical and metaphysical concepts in here, like quantum physics and things like that, that I pulled from in order to heal and grow. And truly, I was completely in a Zen place when we brought our son home. I would have been completely fine with no children. I would have been happy adopting 6 dogs and living on a farm somewhere and traveling. I really was
Uh-huh. Yeah.
totally happy with life. And that's what I hope to help people find, is that peace with
Mhm.
everything that has
Peace,
happened, regardless of
no
how the
matter what.
story ends up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because things happen for a reason.
they
And what
do.
is, yeah, whatever it is. And we need to just, look at it, accept and say, okay, sending it with love and whatever the problem and challenge is, it
Mhm.
is to know that it's there for us to heal, I want to say. To heal.
Yes,
Mhm.
indeed. Right. To
Mhm.
heal past or, present wounds, and sometimes future wounds, future lives.
I
We didn't even talk about future
Yes,
lives.
I know. That's another thing. I know. It's funny. I had a hip replacement 4 years ago, and I said, okay, you put me in pain for a reason here, and I understood
Yeah.
it was my inability to be able to move forward. And
Ah, that.
and I said, wow, we had to do it
Yep.
so severe. But it's like anything else. When we're not listening, it gets
Yes.
louder and
Louder.
louder, a lot louder and more challenging. So until we finally
Yes.
understand that this is what it's all about.
Yep. Yep. That's what happened with those babies who were like louder and louder and louder. Okay, now we're gonna mess up stuff in your house. We're gonna knock over the Christmas tree.
I
Like,
know it's
great.
it's unbelievable. Oh, so wow, I could talk
Mhm.
for another hour with you, but I know you have other things
I
to
know, good times.
do. I know. So, where can my listeners get a hold of you and your book?
Mhm. Transcending Infertility is on Amazon or on my website, drmariarothenberger.com. And my website's where you can find me, or I'm also on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. I love Pinterest. Yeah. Or they can email me directly, info@drmariarothenberger.com.
Okay, and I'll have all that information on the bottom of where we can get a hold of you. And when do you think your next book's going to come out?
Oh, good. Well, I'm writing a fiction right now, not related at all to any of this, but the spirit baby stuff, I'm still dreaming that one up. I think that I'm going to have some, I think I'm going to have some interesting stories in there, personal stories of folks who have had spirit baby sessions, not just with me, but other spirit baby mediums, and see if there's like some themes in there. I think it'll be fascinating. Yeah. And to also teach people how to do it themselves. Yeah.
Oh, when that comes out, we need to get you back on. That's for sure.
Yes. You know, that will happen. I'll be available. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, Barbara.
So one more time, where can people find you? Your website?
drmariarothenberger.com. And that's burger like hamburger, BURGER.
So it's okay. So it's ROTHENBURGER.
Yes.
There we go.
.com.
Okay. .com. Well, thank you for coming on this show.
And thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good times.
Yes, it was a beautiful conversation. So I thank you again. And I want to thank my listeners for listening. And I hope you heard what you needed to hear today. And visit me at motivateyourlife.net. And please subscribe to this YouTube channel, the Spiritual Warrior Coach Podcast. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Google, you name it, we are there. And we're also international. And also for those of you maybe interested in learning energy healing, check out my book on Amazon, Gentle Energy Touch, The Beginner's Guide to Hands-on Healing. So again, thank you all very much for listening. And a big thank you to Dr. Maria Rothenberger for explaining all about spirit babies. I truly enjoyed this hour. And have a beautiful week filled with love and with light. Love, Barbara.